Hey kiddo, I'm glad you're here. This is Quiet Time with Miss Nelson. I wanted to start today by showing you this beautiful bouquet of hydrangeas. I actually just went out back and cut some off a big bush. It's really brightening my workspace today, and I just hope that it would brighten you up today as well. Beautiful lighter colors and more pigmented colors, the periwinkle blues and the greens of the leaves. I just hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. Let me get my microphone ready. And we'll move these out. Here we go. This is the story of Grump and Pout. The story is written by Jamie McEwen. Jamie McEwen is not a famous author, but his wife, Sandra Boynton, is. She is a famous author and illustrator, and they decided to write this book together as a family, which I think is a lovely idea. The Story of Grump and Pout. We have shoe prints traveling up and down, up and down. That's a little hint at what's to come in this story. The Story of Grump and Pout. Here's Grump, and here's Pout. Grump has a bow in her hair, and Pout has horns and stripes. Grump is pink with a purple bow and brown shoes. Pout is blue. Actually, he's not so different in color from the hydrangeas I showed you. In the deep dark forest, there once lived a monster named Grump. Here she is, hiding behind that tree, looking very grumpy. And there's her shoe. What's that doing there? Grump was not her real name. No one remembered her real name. But if you'd ever met her as she clumped around the forest in her big, unlaced shoes, you'd know why all the other monsters called her Grump. Here she is. Oh, look at this one. This little monster said, "Hello." And Grump said, "Get lost, fuzzface." That's not very friendly. Grump lived with her husband, who was called Pout. Most of the time, Grump and Pout didn't speak to each other at all, though sometimes they would converse over breakfast. "Where the heck is my breakfast, you worthless husband?" For all I care, you can eat that stupid ribbon in your hair. Where's my breakfast? Bring me breakfast. It's your turn. I made it last time. That was last winter, and it was terrible. So what? It's still your turn. Converse means have a conversation. That was a conversation, but it wasn't very friendly. Wow. On the edge of that same deep dark forest lived a cobbler, and he was a very good cobbler. In fact, the shoes that the cobbler made were so sturdy and comfortable that they never wore out. So, once he had made everyday shoes for everybody in the village, and work shoes for everybody in the village, and party shoes for everybody in the village, there was no more work left for him to do. One day, the cobbler set out from his village to find new customers for his shoes. Well, it wasn't long before he happened upon someone clearly in need of a shoemaker's skill. The cobbler cleared his throat and began cheerfully. Good day, madam. I thought perhaps I might interest you. Not a chance. But I would just like to tell... Give it up. But perhaps scram. But the cobbler wasn't easily discouraged. He continued along, and soon he came upon a whole group of monsters playing in a clearing. Again the cobbler called out cheerfully, Good afternoon, monsters. Oh, do you see what I see? I see Pout. Blue with stripes and horns. The terrified monsters ran and hid, for none of them had ever seen a person up close before. But then Ygritte, who was always reading, spoke up. Hey everybody, that's a people. Monsters are supposed to eat people. Yuck, Ygritte, are you serious? Really, it says so in all the books. Have you heard that before? I have. This one says, I'm a vegetarian. So they jumped out and roared at him and flapped their arms and opened their mouths wide. But the cobbler yelled, Wait, stop, you can't eat me. Phew, phew, phew. Why not? I thought we were supposed to eat people. The cobbler laughed and replied, Oh no, you're mistaken. People aren't for eating. They're for selling you shoes. Oh, I guess I never knew that. Shoes? Said the monsters. What is shoes? Don't your feet get stuck by thorns and bruised by rocks and cold when it snows? Asked the cobbler. Yes, said all the monsters. Well, shoes will protect your feet and keep them warm. Shoes can also keep your feet from getting tired and can even relieve the backache that comes from improperly supported feet. In short, a monster with shoes is a happy monster. Ygritte smirked. You must be kidding. The grumpiest monster in the forest has those things attached to her feet. But the other monsters were already lined up to be measured for shoes. Among them is Pout. The cobbler promised to have the shoes ready by 10 o'clock the next day. Pout went to sleep that night thinking of the wonderful new shoes he had ordered for himself. Look at Grump. She is wearing those shoes to bed. At breakfast the next morning, Pout was in an unusually good mood. Even Grump couldn't help noticing the change. "Where the heck is my breakfast, you worthless husband?" "Here you go, my love. Hot blueberry pancakes. Forgive me, but I have to rush off. Bye." Well, that's a change. As he had promised, the cobbler came at 10 to deliver the shoes, and the shoes were as wonderful as anyone could imagine. Here they are paying for them. That will be 1 bushel of acorn flour. Trying them on and tying them. Admiring each other's shoes. Pout rushed home as fast as his feet would go. He told Grump about the cobbler and proudly showed her his new shoes. "You should try some out, Grump. I'm sure they're more comfortable than those old ones you found." "I don't want new shoes. I like my old shoes. I wear them all the time." Pout said, "I know you wear them all the time. You kick me with them in bed. You even wear them swimming. Why don't you ever take them off?" Grump just said, "Leave me alone." The next day, Pout got the cobbler to come home with him, but Grump just yelled, "I already have shoes." "Listen, Grump," said Pout. "You have to get them because I already paid for them." "You already paid?" "That's right," said the cobbler. "They're all paid for." Here's what Grump is thinking. "Gee, already paid? For me? All right, I'll try them." "Okay," said the cobbler. "First we'll take your old shoes off so we can measure your feet." He grabbed Grump's shoe and pulled. He pulled and pulled. He pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled, but the shoe wouldn't budge. "How do you get these off at night?" asked the cobbler. Grump didn't say anything. "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to cut them off," said the cobbler. "My shoes!" cried Grump. She's worried. She never takes those off. When the cobbler finally got the shoes off, he shook them upside down and out fell a whole lot of sticks and leaves and nuts and rocks and a corkscrew and 2 apple cores. "Why did you have all that stuff in there?" "Maybe I was saving it." Then the cobbler carefully measured Grump's feet, and the next morning he returned with a shiny new custom pair of shoes. Grump tried them on. They fit her perfectly. Look, they even match her bow. Now Grump is doing something many of us like to do when we get a new pair of shoes. She's trying all the things she might need to do in them to make sure they fit just right. Grump tiptoed very cautiously along the wall. Then she tried walking. Pop, 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 pop. Then running. Tuk, 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 tuk. Then dancing. And then jumping up and down, exclaiming, "These are wonderful! Thank you, Cobbler. Thank you, my Pout, for getting them for me." And she gave Pout a big kiss on the nose. Pout was so astonished by the kiss that he fainted. From then on, Grump was no longer grumpy. Whenever she met other monsters in the woods, she always had a cheerful greeting for them. This took some getting used to. Good morning. Hello. What lovely new shoes you have. Glad to see you. Hello, Ygritte. Beautiful day, don't you think? They are all just as astonished as Pout. Grump and Pout cleaned up their house and cooked wonderful meals and had parties and went dancing and took long hikes together and really enjoyed themselves. After a while, everyone decided that it was silly to keep calling her Grump. "We would like to call you by your real name now. What is it again?" It's, she can't remember. Does anyone here recall? Wait, I have it. I used to be called Rose. Hurrah for Rose, hurrah for Rose. A great party was held to celebrate Rose's new name. Oh, look, there's the cobbler. You know, now that I'm not Grump anymore, you never have to pout, and, well, it seems wrong to keep calling you Pout. I'm sort of used to it. But it's not your real name. When we were first married, I used to call you, Blandford. Blandford? No, it wasn't Blandford. It was too. Listen, Rose, I know what my own name was. Well, I know I wouldn't have married anyone named Blandford. But you did. Impossible. How about Reginald? Reginald? I will not be called Reginald. Oh, why not Reggie? Reginald and Rose danced all night. There they are, under the moon, in the forest. That was the story of Grump and Pout. Remember, just like Grump and Pout and all the other animals in the forest, all the monsters and the cobbler and everybody, we are all connected. So take care of one another.